The At Home Show.
Today is a day that will long be remembered in the annals of history for the At Home Show. Yes, it is Michael Moose Stevenson's final day as a cast member. Just over 3 years ago, I came on as producer of the show when we were still over at WSM, and only once was I so late that I slept through almost the entire show. And I was appropriately punished with bad stares, backslapping, and apologies all around. But that only happened once. Later, I became yet another award-winning producer of the show, and I just wanted to say thank you to Josh and David for allowing me to do it for as long as they did. It was a lot of fun, and I am sorry to go, but maybe I can come back as a guest every once in a while, and you'll probably still hear my voice time and again introducing these fine people. So, to everybody that listened, thank you very much. And keep listening, even though I'm not here. I know it's hard with Josh still here, but just do me that one favor. Live from the Green Room Studios, from the spacious property of Bates Nursery and Garden Center, 3810 Whites Creek Pike, it's the At Home Show with Josh Cary and David Bates.
Yes, everybody, welcome in. If you're up and around, hey, join us here on the At Home Show.
If you've even been to bed.
If you've had some sleep or if you've got power. If not, we're here for you, and you can stream live later if you want to.
And it is true what Michael just said. This is his final episode, and we'll be talking about that. But obviously, one of the things we're going to talk about a lot this morning is
weather.
And it's been a very bad story for a whole lot of folks, and we're Michael is from up in Kentucky. Devastation is widespread. We'll do the weather first here, and then we'll discuss more about that. And of course, today is Saturday, the 11th of December, and so still some showers around, particularly if you go east of Nashville, and the severe weather has passed through. Will be a few lingering showers from time to time throughout the rest of the day, but what will not linger are the high temperatures. It's going to be falling throughout the day. By the time we reach late afternoon, likely to be in the lower 40s. So if you want to enjoy 60-degree temperatures, well, you got to get outside right now. It's going to be changing pretty quickly. Tomorrow it will be sunny, a very seasonable day, high of 52, a low of 30. On Monday, 60, 37. We're going to have a warming trend through the week. It's going to be in the upper 60s, if not close to 70, by mid-later part of the week. And looks like showers, and as you get towards Monday, and we're at the 20th at that point, a week out, you can see that they start putting snowflakes in the forecast. That's the obligatory thing that, they do.
You might get snow on Christmas.
I'll give you a little bit of data here. This is from the weather station here at Bates Nursery, and we were fortunately spared. We really didn't get anything severe at all. This is how I knew I could go back and try to go to sleep for just a little while this morning. We got 0.93 of an inch of rain. Our high wind gust was only just shy of 29 miles an hour. Our sustained wind was just shy of 24 miles an hour, so we were fortunate we didn't get anything severe. However, if you look at here at the big map, and you can see the amount of wind that is behind this front, and the amount of activity that's still moving towards the east, it doesn't. I don't know how many of the tornado warnings or watches that may be in effect, but obviously there's still a lot of storm activity moving into East Tennessee and into western North Carolina in the coming hours.
Yeah. And folks, if you're watching in, say, Minnesota or Illinois or wherever, this type of stuff for us is not terribly all that unusual.
Unfortunately, it's not unusual.
I'm going to interject here. What happened last night is
unusual.
highly
Right.
unusual.
But as far as tornadoes and cold fronts, Tennessee is where the world's weather comes to change its mind on what it wants to do, and the frontal passages come right back and forth. We get Gulf moisture, we get polar expresses, we get it all.
One other thing I want to call your attention to before we move on and talk about what actually happened is if you'll look at all these little icons, it shows you weather. We've got 60-degree temperatures all on the east side of it and even just to the west. And then as you go just slightly west, they move into the 30s and 40s. So it really is going to cool down quickly. If you're getting out and about today, take the windbreaker along, and perhaps you might
throw the other layer in there.
Yeah, you might just need a vest to go along with that. So
the way I understand it is yesterday was so rare because we had a warm front, a particularly strong warm front, go through ahead of that cold front, and that's what caused everything to happen.
Whenever you have those where the air feels tropical and it's shouldn't in the near approaching winter season, that's always, I think, gives areas for concern. And yesterday,
they knew it was coming. I mean,
they knew.
That's a very good thing. And
and we're fortunate to have the technology at this point in time that can give us a bit of a heads up regarding what may be approaching. And the thing of it is that until it arrives, you don't know specifically where it's going to hit. And there were areas around Middle Tennessee, Kingston Springs, Dixon County, over in Madison. I saw some damage through Bordeaux this morning on Clarksville Pike near the Kroger.
Eagleburg got soaked, and there were some other things going on.
But there was. I think they have officially announced there's 3 deaths in Tennessee, but the story in Kentucky is infinitely worse.
Right.
And Michael, I know you have a lot of family and friends in Kentucky. That's your home state, and the story, particularly out of Mayfield, is devastating to say the least.
And Tyler, it'd be time to switch if you wanted to go ahead and do so.
Yeah, I was up watching that last night, and they said it was probably the most violent tornado in history that this country's ever had. It hit Mayfield dead on. Yeah, that's the courthouse on the left, and then after the tornado was there on the right. I mean, it just got flattened, and
you're looking through the front door all the way through it.
Pretty much, yeah. So they said that tornado was on the ground. I think it dropped in Jonesboro, Arkansas, and it didn't come up until just south of Louisville. And at one point, it was 1.5 miles wide.
This one is a dark photograph.
Yeah.
These are from Twitter, too,
Yeah.
by the way, folks. So, I mean, these are not shots that were taken by.
I didn't do that. I wasn't out there trying to chase that.
You were on the phone, however, with family members.
Yes, I was. I had some friends that worked at a store I service up on
look
Lowe's.
at that picture. Now, just focus in on the light areas on either side, and you can see that stovepipe. Classic stovepipe look, and you can even see vortices off to the left side of that are circling the central rotation. So
1.5 miles wide.
A horrifying view, and it's one of those kind of things. If you're not underground in a hardened spot, you're not going to survive it.
No,
and unfortunately, a lot of people were not fortunate to be in that kind of a situation.
So right before the storms were still, and that's the radar. Like, it actually showed the funnel, and they said they've never seen that before. That's the hook echo on the bottom as it was going through Mayfield. And that's crazy. But when all this was coming, my mom called and said, "Hey, we've got a basement at my house." And she's like, "I'm coming down." I was like, "You got a bad feeling?" She said, "Yeah." And then a tornado, not that one, but another stronger tornado went through the area that she lives in. Wow. And that's the one that hit Bowling Green dead on.
Bowling Green, and I saw an image that had 2 funnel clouds on the ground at the same time in Bowling Green.
Yeah,
so.
No, that's what happened. It was 2 different tornadoes.
Alrighty. And kudos and thank you for the folks at WTVF, WSMV, and WKRN, in addition to the National Weather Service and the Rutherford County storm people. If you had Twitter, I mean, again, that was, your cell phone needed to be charged, and it was a good thing that we did.
You have to feel like that all of the on-air meteorologists were trying to take naps yesterday afternoon because they knew it was going to be a long night.
I feel like me and Henry Roethlisberger we're BFFs now.
Well,
we went through that together.
Little Danielle Breezy, and then she's so cute. I like her, but she needs to probably get a nap and a foot rub and a cupcake from Mr. Breezy when she gets home today. So
He's probably on the air too.
yeah, it could be. All right, folks. As we said, it's Michael's last day, and David, we've never given a former producer a going away gift.
Well, no, they usually just quit without notice.
Right, but I talked to Chris Nishin this week, and we decided that we weren't going to do it again. So we're just going to let the tradition continue. And Michael, you won't be getting a half-a-day trip from Chris Nishin. So
That's okay. I'm a better guy than he is anyway.
And more modest.
Uh-huh.
No, I love Chris.
I don't know. I don't know if he's more modest than Chris. Fish and Nishin.
You got to have a certain amount of ego to be able to deal with, keep that edge so you can be an angler and a hunter extraordinaire. And,
is he angular?
If need be.
He is. Who's on the other end of the building down there, David?
Well, we've got Cary Gant down there. Good morning, Caroline. And we've got Austin Lowen down there as well. And so we'll quickly go to you guys. And you guys live out in the Cheatham County area. And there were a lot of the same, more or less in a line to the west of where the nursery is. And so, Austin, I'm sure you were up a lot of the night with the family, right?
No. Not at all, actually. I didn't even really see much, to be honest with you. I went to bed fairly late. I was sitting on the front porch about 11:30 at night. My whole family was asleep, and I was just kind of watching. It was fairly calm. So I went to bed, and I didn't wake up till this morning. So, I'm
thankfully,
right through it.
Thankfully you woke up. Caroline, how about yourself?
I woke up to alerts on my phone, and then I sat on my porch and watched the storm roll in, which was pretty cool. There were a few times when I, realized I needed to go inside probably, but it was fascinating to watch, and it was so windy, and the thunder was wild out where we were.
Oh, that's the Crest department store, by the way. So, we're all good.
By the way, Tyler, if you can go back to the camera of the HDMI 1 setting, and not that I'm trying to block. That's a beautiful view.
Yes.
But it's really not why we're here. We're here for the at-home show to talk about all the things you've got on your mind with
landscaping, home improvement. Yeah. We might be able to help you with some temporary structure advice today. There's some people in the building.
I suspect there'll be a run on the blue tarp kinds of things, as there are roofs that have been damaged severely, if not removed completely in some areas. And
that's the odd nature of the tornadoes is that there are, if you've ever been in the area where you see that the damage has happened, and you go 100 yards in some cases and no sign that it's ever been. So,
well, we were very grateful here to have not had anything severe at Bates Nursery.
I picked up some bushes on the way in.
Well, I didn't say we didn't have things blown over, but that's a pretty easy fix. We didn't have structural damage or any covers torn off, anything. So we're grateful for that. And everybody who's in the employ of Bates Nursery is probably grateful for that, because it's we have been on the receiving end of several tragedies along the way, and we always hate it for somebody else, but we're grateful it wasn't us this time. So,
yes.
615-499-6690 for
that's the last day. Yes,
the very last time if you want to call that phone, that's the one that Michael keeps over there. We will be changing the number to something mystery, but
we could pick one of the old ones. We could use the old one,
or the more frequent way that our viewers have been contacting us is through our Instagram and Facebook pages. You can go to either of those, the At Home Show with Josh Cary and David Bates, either Facebook or Instagram, and check in through there. Also, Caroline monitors the Bates Nursery Instagram pages as well. And so if you got questions, send them out. Do we have some out there, Cary? I'm not asking for a question, but do we have some?
We do. We have a few this morning.
Okay, all right. Well, why don't we go ahead and bring Yard Boy up?
Is he with us?
He appears to be right there. If the Yard Boy icon on the screen over there. go on.
I didn't know we were looking inside his head.
So yeah, if he shows up on the screen, we'll bring him back up here in a minute. I did not realize that he was.
You can actually look if you look in one ear, you can see all the way through to the other side. You know.
So
It
Cary,
looks like he's got his mic turned off. Is that that red thing on the side of his name in the lower left-hand corner?
Okay.
yeah, Mike, but the camera's not off, is it? He may have the right camera selected. Anyway, Caroline, why don't you give us a question might be waiting out there to be answered.
Gotcha. So we've got one from Pedro's Typer. They ask, is it too late to install a row of little light hydrangea?
Little light hydrangea. Well, Austin, you know the availability better than I do. Certainly, the time of year is a good time if they are available.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think we have some. I think they're probably referring to little lime hydrangea would
probably.
be my guess. Or firelight. That's another type
There are
of
so many
hydrangea.
cultivars anymore; it's
They
hard to
combine the
keep
two.
up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we still have a fair amount of hydrangeas right now, and yeah, no problem at all with planting them this time of year. They're dormant, so it's a really good time to plant them. Also, we still have 25% off, David.
Yes,
we
we
still
do.
doing that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bates Rewards members.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is one of the best time of years to plant anything really, and with 25% off, I mean, why not do it? So yeah, come on out. We still have some.
Yep, good shape. All right, and there's no reason. Even there are very few things I really can't think of anything off the top of my head that in the way of landscape plantings that this is not a great time. And as usually the case in Middle Tennessee, it's so rare that we have the ground frozen here. It's just very rare. So most of any other time of year, you can get out there and plant regardless of what it is. All right,
Perfect.
Cary, you got
Giles asks, how do I get an overwatered rose of Jericho to bounce back? So I'm assuming that's going to be also called a resurrection plant. They're pretty cool. It's in moss and it completely dries out. It doesn't die, and you can water for a few hours, place it in a dish of water, and it will resurrect itself and come back to life. I'm going to assume that you left it in that water for a little bit too long. They do tend to rot if they sit for too long. They don't bounce back very well, but I would suggest taking it out and just letting it completely dry out. Again, completely dry, and it'll be okay if it does fold back in, but if it just stays flopped open, then you might have lost it.
Yeah, too wet is going to decidedly be worse for those, as it is the case with most house plants, than too dry. You know, they just don't have a way to quickly lose that excessive moisture. A lot easier to take it on than to get rid of it. So,
Right.
as with most things that you're going to have inside, and by the way, I should mention our entire set today is courtesy of Cary's department. We've got all tropicals out all around, so it's a time of year when people begin looking inside, and I'm not talking introspective. Personally, I'm talking about inside the house. So tropicals are a thing that people are.
Where's the pina coladas?
Not in here, Josh.
Hurricanes?
Nope.
No?
We do have a hurricane cactus, but it's not in here.
Mai Tai?
Nope.
No.
Keep going.
Okay. All right. Worth a shot.
But there's a
I've
nice
been up all
selection
night,
of
so it doesn't matter. It's time. So.
tropicals all behind you guys. There's
What?
some Christmas palms in the corner.
Oh, wow.
Little bit on theme with the holiday
There you
right
go.
now. So the large things that you see behind both David and Josh, Christmas palms. We have 2 of those in stock. They
Lovely.
look really cute, decorated with some lights, maybe a little bit of icicle tinsel, which I love.
Yes.
So,
Can you even find it anymore, though?
yes, you can.
They had,
Yeah, but it's not like it's more of it's like a mylar
Yeah.
material. It's no longer is it that really metal heavy aluminum shreds anymore.
well,
Which
pre-lit trees and that kind of stuff probably might not be a really good idea anyway, would it? And, I don't know.
if you get
I always called these Star Trek plants, the red ones with the little pokey outy thing on it.
The Ethereum, the little
That's what
Star Trek plants. Okay.
Wow.
Have you not seen The Cage? Okay, or that.
I've never seen Star Trek.
You've never seen Star Trek?
Negative.
Wow.
I know.
That's okay.
Oh my goodness!
well, I'm
Yeah,
going
go
to say
Austin.
that Austin is alone on that one. Probably all the rest of us, I'm pretty sure, have seen Star Trek.
If you grew up in the 90s, I don't know how you haven't seen Star Trek, whether it was the reruns of the original, The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine.
Something.
Well, and he may not have. Did you have before Fox 17 was Fox 17? It was a UHF channel. Did you not pick it? Could you not pick it up where you?
I don't remember, to be honest with you. We had one TV in the house growing up, and it was typically what Dad wanted to watch.
There you go.
He didn't like Star Trek.
He wasn't a Star Trek guy. More of a Bonanza.
No, Bonanza's good too. There's nothing wrong with Bonanza.
No, I love that show. Andy Griffith.
Okay, on the subject of Bonanza, who is your favorite cast member?
Oh gosh,
Hoss.
Probably.
Yeah.
I feel like he was most, or the cook, the
Hop
chef.
Sing, man.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, he
Hop
was.
Sing was.
Huh?
Yep, he was good.
He was cool.
It was not a really good show for
but
women,
you know,
though. I mean,
my problem is I start confusing characters from the Big Valley. I want to.
Oh no. Audra was my.
She was spectacular. She was spectacular. So anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so this is the At Home Show, and we're talking about whatever you want to talk about. But today we are kind of focused, unfortunately, on the weather that has, and the terrible weather that has beset many in the mid-state area. That includes northern Alabama, all throughout Middle Tennessee, and southern Kentucky. And Michael has kind of been researching Twitter along. Have you got any other information you can update us with?
Well, I don't know how to send it. There's the pictures coming out of Mayfield, and Mayfield's gone. It's gone. Bowling Green got really messed up, and there's some videos that have come out of as it was going through Bowling Green, the news station up there, WBKO. They were on the air and they were watching it come down because the state. So, if you've never been to Bowling Green, the west side of Bowling Green on 6880, which is the main way to come in at Russellville, WBKO is right there, and they watched it come straight down 6880, straight past them. It knocked them off the air and it went straight through WKU.
Well, it twisted their tower in half.
Well, that was the old radio station I worked for, WGGC. That station got obliterated.
Yeah. By the way, Michael is the only person in the building who has actually made a living in the radio business.
That's true. Josh and I have managed to hang in there, but I don't know that there was a living ever made by either of us. We just, if for nothing else, for our own amusement, and hopefully some others have enjoyed
Jonathan Schaefer.
We've been privileged to be.
It was his fault that you came on the show. You know that, don't you?
Why is that?
Huh?
I think it was Bill.
That was Jonathan, I think, wasn't it?
Did I never tell you how that happened?
No.
So I met Bill 6 years ago. Where it was?
He's the one that won't call us back.
Bill Cody?
No, Bill.
Well, me and my wife stayed at the Opryland Hotel for our anniversary. We ran into Bill, and he's like, "Hey, you still doing radio? You want to work here?" He's like, "We got an opening," and he put me through to Schaefer, and it took some months, and Schaefer brought me on.
Well, okay, but I mean, what Bill wants, Bill gets, right?
Well, speaking of coming on,
oh my goodness,
we have a guest who now is connected himself both visually and
he was given the
audibly.
permission to do so. I understand. So.
By Tyler, not me. I wasn't keeping you from
So let's
coming
welcome in the one and only Yard Boy, Corey. How are you, sir?
If it pleases the crown, may I join the meeting?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Welcome in.
Okay, you're the sergeant at
How y'all doing
arms.
this morning?
Well, we're
So before we get into anything else, how are things down Petersburg way? How did you guys fare through the storms overnight?
Well, I haven't seen any damage so far, but it always looks like a tornado came through here anyway. So, but I haven't really been out of my driveway, but I don't see any damage in what I'm able to look around and see.
Well, that's good.
And it rolled through here. It rolled through here about 6:30 this morning.
So being considerably south of Nashville, it took it a lot longer to get there due to the angle of
because it's almost upper Alabama down there. So I mean,
just about.
Yes.
Just about.
But
pretty much, yeah.
But Yard Boy, I know that you had wanted to come in this morning, but the storms precluded that because he wanted to come in and wish Michael a fond farewell. I mean,
if you tell me the next time you're up here, I'll make a trip up here.
Well, he doesn't know.
Okay.
He doesn't know the answer to that question.
I have to check with the probation officer before I can schedule that. So,
will your ankle bracelet allow you to get out of the county? I'm just curious.
Every now and then, the battery dies on it. Yeah.
Okay, but David was off on a vacation or on something. He actually took a day off, and Corey came in. I think it was the first time he ever met Michael. And Corey, how did he refer to you on the air? What was that? What was it that he said about something?
Some guy or something like that.
Some guy who does, some guy. Oh, he wasn't specifically referring to you as the yard boy. He was talking about some guy. He was. I think he.
No, what I said he was talking about how well he mowed his yard, and I was like, well, I just called some guy to mow my yard, and he kind of looked at me, and I was like, well, he does just as good a job. Oh. I don't remember his name.
Oh, boy.
Well, one thing that the two parties here were discussing, neither are ever slack on talking smack. They both can talk it pretty good. Now, I don't know how about walking the walk, but they can talk the talk. I know that.
Yes, they can. Now, when is the Petersburg Christmas parade this year, Corey? Or has it already happened?
No, it's actually scheduled for today around 4:30, I think.
Okay.
Now, we've already heard that
Mount Juliet
has canceled theirs, right?
Yes.
Yep. So there's a lot of things that have changed in the last 24 hours. So, life is what happens while you're making other plans, so it says.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I just want to address something there, though. Has that some guy ever won Yard of the Month for 173 consecutive months?
I don't know that some guy figured out how to print his own sign.
Oh, no. Well, I don't think he did. Now, there is a new award that you won at the.
Is that spelled GNU?
Huh?
GNU? No, that's GNU. There was a holiday decoration award that came to your house too. I mean, is that true?
Yes, the best holiday lighting display has been bestowed upon us this year.
Outstanding. So, Yard of the Month and Best Holiday Light Display.
I will say this.
Absolutely, first time in history that both awards have been bestowed upon the same house. Yes.
Wow, gosh!
Every yard that I see on Facebook that he does looks immaculate, and I'm being very serious about this. And he has some of the best bacon in the world.
Both those statements are true.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, maybe we should stop while we're ahead, because that's about as positive as it's going to get around here.
No, and I cheered for the Braves in the World Series too.
Oh,
my cats and dogs are going to get along before it's over with.
Yeah.
Well, and it is, of course, he referred to Smith Farms bacon and sausage, smoked sausage.
Do you have those products available now online, Corey?
I got a notification that we were restocked yesterday. So, but
absolutely, and pork chops as well. We got some pork chops
and
right now,
for people who are interested in that, how do they get there, Corey?
That would be head over to ineedbacon.com.
ineedbacon.com. So check it out, Smith Farms, and on the tastiest holiday gifts, and not just holiday, for all year long.
Mm-hmm.
They'll take care of your pork, your culinary pork needs.
Now, are chitterlings ever a part of the Smith Farms product line?
That doesn't quite make it to the menu. No.
Well, and we're not going to talk about how to cook them
or how to clean them.
Yeah. So,
no.
All right. Any final thoughts, Corey? Here, we thank you for being on today and for being a part of the program. I know there must be some final words you want to bestow upon Michael as you bid him adieu.
We're still friends.
Well, I was going to say still. No, he's done a great job. He really has done a great job there with the show, and give him he deserves any and every praise that he can get for making that, even though he may not have the hardware that some previous producers have.
Oh, well, I mean,
he's done a great job on this show.
What he lacks in maybe what he might possibly be lacking statuary type hardware, he the only reason we're here today is that he had actual physical broadcast.
Yeah, my hardware is what kept this show going.
Exactly.
It ain't something on a shelf.
Right.
He provided the gateway drug to show us that we could continue doing this on our own terms. And, so it's up to us when we.
It has come a long way. It has come a long way from that first live show out there in the
checkout. I was in the checkout area.
That first Facebook Live.
Yes, it was.
I knocked the camera over.
Yep. So,
well, it was only supposed to last 2 weeks. I mean,
well, and
it's been almost 2 years.
Yes.
Hey, Corey, thanks for coming on today, buddy. Great to see you as always. Happy New Year's.
I'll keep up with you on Facebook.
And figure out some other kind of award to give yourself and put it out in your yard.
That was awarded by townofpetersburg.com. That was not the yard boy giving those awards out. Those is townofpetersburg.com.
Who's the head of that organization?
Who owns the domain name? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All righty, yard boy. Keep them out there and keep striping them, man.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.
Keep them straight out there.
The old yard boy. Can't kill him, right?
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody's gotten to that point where they're would that cross their mind. But I mean, it might have crossed some people's mind, but I don't think they ever started planning out how they were going to execute that.
I don't know.
You haven't been to the alderman's meeting.
I was about to say, one of those little old ladies up there, I can't remember her name. She probably would like to.
You mean the Cools and the...
no, I can't. He just put a picture of her flipping him off.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, he's just saying hi. All right. 615-499-6690 for one final show. We need to have a phone call come in on that.
I'm waiting.
And Cary, do you have questions out there that we can refer to? I tell you what, before you go to that, why don't I just speak for just a moment about why we're here? And
why don't you?
And we're going to talk about Bates Nursery and Garden Center. And if you are a customer of Bates Nursery and Garden Center, chances are you are a Bates Rewards member, and also chances are you read weekly newsletter that I put out. And if you read this week's newsletter, you know that all of our landscape plants continue to be 25% off. Now that excludes Japanese maples, but everything else of our landscape plants, and that also includes living Christmas trees. So if you want to put a living Christmas tree in, you will get those at 25% off as well.
Wow.
And additional to that, that is for the interior landscape or all of our poinsettias. So those are all 25% off as well. And our earth mix landscape. So if you're going to be planting out in the yard, you want to be able to get the very best results. So earth mix landscape in bags, also 25% off. And we still have a tremendous selection of plants. We don't really, a great many places this time of year really narrow down their selection. And they really go
or close
completely.
Yeah,
so, and we don't do that. We have substantial indoor storage facilities, fairly massive, as a matter of fact. Actually, our main one, we spent all summer redoing it, so it's a much better environment in there than it has been in the last several years. You can you don't have to have a headlamp to see in the middle of the day in there anymore. We have replaced all of the covers, and so that's looking really good now. So come out and see us. You can go to our website, batesnursery.com. You can search our entire inventory online. If you're looking for a gift idea and you just don't know what to get somebody, click right here where it says gift cards, and there you can either pick a specific amount or you can do a custom amount, and you don't even have to come out. You can have it electronically delivered to the recipient. Easy peasy right there. Check it out at batesnursery.com and just click on the gift card link right in the top right corner. So check that out. And that makes for a great gardening gift for the gardener in your life. So, remember this, beautifying Nashville since 1932. We're coming up on our 90th anniversary here at Bates Nursery. My grandmother would probably never have believed it would have lasted this long for a Depression-era business to have made it to this point. We're really grateful for that, and we appreciate your involvement. Come out and see us. We're open today until 4, from 9 until 4, so come out and see us today. Then those hours actually apply Monday through Saturday, and we are closed on Sundays until spring season. So check us out at batesnursery.com or come out and see us. 3810 Whites Creek Pike, just a mile north of Riley Parkway at exit 19. Minutes from Rivergate, downtown Donaldson, West Nashville, Nashville West, and it is worth the drive from anywhere. Check us out, batesnursery.com. And appreciate you giving us a moment to talk about that. And, you might not be thinking about landscaping this time of year. Maybe you're thinking more along the tropical lines, and that certainly involves Caroline, and because that's her day-to-day job and her direct duty. She does a great job of taking care of a number of different areas, but the thing she looks at every day is the tropical. So
I do look at a lot of them.
Yeah. So tell us what people need to be thinking about, Cary, with regard to, it won't soon. This whole holiday thing will pass, and we'll be left with what we've got. So how do we? What are the things we need to be thinking about to take care of the plants that we have on hand?
Mm-hmm. So a lot of people think about, holiday plants, poinsettias, Norfolk pine, which we had last week. Christmas cactus is kind of a more throwaway plant. I know you get it, somebody gifts it to you, you put it on your dining room table, maybe you never water it. And then once the season ends, a lot of people just toss them. But those are all three, plus a lot of other holiday plants, great options to keep in your home year round. We did have a poinsettia tree in here, I think about 2 weeks ago. So you can kind of see as that plant matures what you can have yours look like if you want to prune it and just keep it going. I mean, they will get very big and very tall. Christmas cactus, another great option to keep inside. They will usually rebloom each year. You might have to work for it sometimes. Some people have an easier time than others getting them to bloom again. But just keeping them in bright indirect light, keeping them watered, they'll do great all year round.
I've seen some pictures over the last couple of weeks because it's time for the Thanksgiving and the Christmas cactuses. That one lady was claiming that she had 3 that were over 40 years old, and that is amazing. And pink one, a white one, and a dark red one as well.
My grandmother had a Christmas cactus for over 35 years. It was.
Was it huge? I've seen
it was pretty big.
A couple
It was in like a trough container. It was kind of odd container, but yeah, it was big.
By the way, that's Austin talking in case y'all can't tell.
There he is. You made it on camera.
Yeah. I've had a Christmas cactus now for like 8 years, I think.
Did it bloom this year?
Oh, it's blooming right now. It's mine.
Oh. And a lot of people, they'll say, well, no, that's a Thanksgiving cactus, or that's a Easter. Easter, yeah. They're all zygote cactus. They're the same plant. It's all about how much day length they're given and when. They generally will bloom somewhere between Thanksgiving and the first of the year, or maybe shortly thereafter. So they're still the same plant, but depending on how much light, how many hours of day length they get determines when they will set bud. And
yeah. See, mine was sitting out on my front porch through the whole season, just in kind of indirect light, just, treating it like a houseplant. All my houseplants go out during the season. And it was barely budded. I mean, like 1 or 2 little buds sitting on the front porch. And then it started to get cold. I needed to bring it in. So I brought it inside, and I've got it in a kind of dark spot. My house does not get great light for indoor plants. So all the ones that really need a lot of light go to the windows. And this one is put on top of a shelf, just kind of in the darkness, and it set bud almost immediately when it came inside the house. Like within a week, it set bud, and it is full.
I'm happy. Yeah,
full bud, it's full bloom right now. It's actually almost on the way out, if you will. It's
right.
So it's full show. So yeah, it's a good one to keep for a long time. Yeah,
well, that cold in the combination with the dark is probably what forced it to bloom. Yeah. So don't throw away those holiday plants that you get. And if you have questions about them, you can always call or come down, and we can walk you through how to take care of them.
Yeah, and we're really proud of the renovations that we collectively made over the summer. Everybody's kind of had a hand in it around here, but in our greenhouse area at the garden center, it's dramatically different from what it ever was.
It's bright, it's clean, you look left, you look right, and now you have to also look up because there is stuff up there that you're going to see. And it's amazing.
And it's full. We're going to keep it full all winter long.
So I found that picture if you wanted to go back to version 2. Now, this is an inspiration picture of why I call those red things with the pokey things on them. You called it what?
Things with the pokey.
Okay, that's a Star Trek plant. Now, it's blue. I understand that it's blue, but don't you see the connection there slightly? That's Spock and Captain Pike and
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah, Captain Pike was the
That's the original Captain Pike.
Yeah.
Menagerie is what I believe that episode is called. It was a 2-part. This was actually the
this was not
pilot.
This was not something that made it to broadcast because Spock is obviously
Oh yeah,
smiling.
oh yeah,
Yeah, he
oh
looks
yeah.
real
No,
happy.
it was. This was the pilot before Spock became fully unemotional.
Vulcanized.
What's
He
up
was-
with the
he's out-
eyebrows?
Huh? Oh man, check out the ears, dude. I mean,
He's a Vulcan.
yeah. Don't be dissing Spock, man. Don't be dissing.
I don't.
Uh-huh.
I just didn't know. I was just
Okay.
wondering why the eyebrows are.
He was
turned up.
quite the sex symbol, I understand, back in the '60s as well.
Well, he was.
But those plants actually made music, and that was why they were so happy. As they touched them, they could feel the vibrations as they go on. Great show.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Josh.
Okay.
That was perfect.
All right, Cary, do you have other questions out there? And Tyler, if you
Like,
go
do you
back
have
to
blue
HDMI
plants that
1.
vibrate? I mean, no.
Yes, I do have more questions. One comes from one of our regulars, Miriam Mims. She asks, what is the best showy houseplant for a lazy gardener? I would say the best showy one would be a philodendron, and there's so many different types. We've got this Moonlight Philodendron to my right that Austin actually picked out and brought in here. And I'm going to pull it over here so you guys can see what the middle looks like. Yeah, now you can't see me anymore. So,
Well, what a wonderful range of colors you go with.
Yes.
That really, I mean, it technically does flower, but the flowers are not a showy aspect of that plant. It has incredibly showy foliage. From that magenta looking first new buds push up there to the open leaves to the mature leaves, and you've got all those different shades in it.
there are a lot of different shades. So if you see this like pink, I don't know, it might be a little bit red in the camera light, but that's actually a bloom that's starting. So that's going to be a bud that comes out. And then the new leaves, when they come out, are very yellow, hence the name Moonlight. So these up top are the newer leaves. As they mature, they're going to turn a darker green. So this plant has a lot of color. And it can actually climb. You can get a moss pole and it'll attach itself to it. Very easy to care for.
If you put it at the bottom of the stairs, it may take it a few months, but it will magically get to the top.
It's going to climb up those stairs. That's right, David. I have one sitting in a north-facing
But
window.
only if you have a handrail of the size of it to begin
What kind
with.
of
Right.
Don't know. It doesn't matter really.
It doesn't matter? Oh, sure it does.
Go ahead, Cary.
Oh, I was just listening to you guys.
Yeah, well, it
was so
obviously
interesting.
Yeah, insightful and intellectual.
There's something up with philodendron right now, though. There's like a craze.
Oh, they're
love 'em.
very trendy.
They're
There's so
trendy.
many hybrid philodendrons. I mean, this is an example of one. I don't think. Oh, we do have some over on the table in front of you guys on that end. We've got the Macaulay Finale. So, Tyler, if we can take a little stroll over there, the kind of burnt orange leaves that you see sticking up. So that's the Macaulay's Finale. It's very similar to this Moonlight Philodendron. So if you're not into this bright yellow and pink color, you want something more earth toned. David is pointing at it right now. So there's that leaf. So the new leaves, as they come out, they're going to be like a burnt orange and then turn green as they mature.
Interesting.
Very
and one of the things for
interesting.
sure, Josh will never turn green because the maturity will never happen.
happen.
Will never come to him.
Now, behind that, this one that looks with the, I would call them almost paddle-shaped leaves on it here that slightly
I
variegated,
need my
right?
glasses on.
It's the
that's
triangularis.
The triangularis ficus. So, yep, that's a ficus. Same family as a fiddly fig. So,
Really?
probably the most popular indoor ficus that I'd say, any.
Josh, would you have a
Place
clue
cells.
why that's referred to as triangularis?
I think I can pick up on a sign there, but I wouldn't call them really. That'd be more trapezoidalaris in my
Yeah,
mind.
but that's too much of a tongue twister.
Yeah, come on, Josh.
Okay.
Those actually have figs on it.
They do, yeah. They've got little. Don't eat them though. I don't think they'll kill you, but
Unless-
Josh, go ahead and try.
Unless
one.
you've
You can
got
have a bunch of
If
'em,
you've
I
got a
mean.
pet monkey, they might like them because that's really what they mostly live on. So, but they're not going to taste good like the temperate climate figs like we have in our yards.
No,
that
they're
I
not.
can't keep the squirrels out of.
You too?
They cut. Oh man,
Rabbits?
it's frustrating. Rabbits really can. You can pretty much control what they can get to. They don't climb all that well.
There's
But,
one less rabbit in 37167
Here's something that
this
happened
week.
to me the other day. I'm backing in my driveway.
Uh-oh.
as I do frequently. I'm backing in and I'm running in the house to get something. I came back out, looked in front of my truck, and there was something in the driveway, and I backed over a mole. Killed him. I mean, his timing was really bad. You could see where he climbed out of the ground right by the driveway. It was starting across as I'm apparently backed in.
Talk about bad timing.
It was,
Really?
and it didn't leave any kind of a mess or anything. So I just kind of
Kept on going.
tossed him in the can.
That blue jay will get him. I mean, that's all.
But they have the most wonderful soft coat on them. If you had
So did that rabbit.
yes.
And their paddle paws are very huge and weird looking.
Now, Bella, the snake killing
They
dog.
actually swim in the dirt
Yep. Oh yeah.
615-499-6690.
for one final week.
One final week. We need a call.
Michael,
No calls.
Have you
No
got any updates on damage out of Kentucky that may have occurred, or things that people? I know that the early death count was the governor reported was 50.
They're
and
saying
that's
it's
at least.
they're saying it's around 100 now. So, and that's between all the places in Kentucky, not just Mayfield. And I mean, that what's crazy is they're saying it was probably an EF5 that hit Mayfield, but right now, at least they're saying it'll likely get stronger. But they're saying EF1, EF2 that hit Bowling Green, and the pictures out of Bowling Green, that must have been a heck of a strong
Well, they'll
EF1 or 2.
Well, and that's what they're seeing the data, and once they assess the damage, I think there's a multi-layered way that they decide what the total
There
thing
is a very interesting program on if you ever watch anything on PBS. There's a series called American Experience, and one of the episodes recently was about Mr. Tornado or
Mr.
Dr. Fujita, who was the
Fujita scale.
He's the guy who came up with the observance ability and noted that you could tell how strong a storm was based on the amount of damage that occurred. So he was the innovator of all that, a brilliant guy, eccentric to say the least. He was a very much you have to be a data nerd to be doing that kind of thing. But he got inspired by that because he was originally from Hiroshima. And he was just outside of the total kill zone when the bomb was dropped as a child. So he got to see. Actually, he was not a child. He was like in his early 20s at that time. So he got to see how the damage changed based on the relation to distance from the center of destruction, and also that butterfly effect that can occur where things that are in a certain spot right at dead center almost come away unscathed. So very interesting show if you ever get a chance to watch that, and a really brilliant guy who did a lot for meteorology and came up with that scale, the F scale, or now it's more commonly referred to as the EF. I'm not sure who
enhanced
Fujita scale
yes.
is. So I'm not sure how they enhanced it.
Well, I didn't know this last night. So obviously we know a tornado watch means conditions are favorable for tornadoes. A tornado warning means that it's radar indicated or it's been seen on the ground. I didn't know there was a step above that called a tornado emergency, where they put a separate box, like a smaller polygon inside the warning polygon.
Is that like a purple?
Yeah, it's purple, and it means like it's an extremely dangerous tornado. It's on the ground and moving.
Well,
they had 8 of those last night.
Oh my word!
Well, I would think that the technology is, and as they gather the data and with the way things are going on, they're going to be able to identify.
And I don't have access to the photo right now, but not yesterday, but the day before. The sunrise in the morning was extremely red, and the last time we saw one like that was August 31st of 2017 when the approaching Hurricane Harvey was coming into Middle Tennessee, and we received 10 inches of rain here in about 5 hours. So it was so anytime you see that, that red sky in warning, sailor take warning, there is truth to that. It doesn't happen, but there's like a day in advance. So it's giving you a warning that bad things are likely to occur. And it's just really it's heartbreaking to know all of the devastation that has occurred to those who are having to deal with it. It's
When was the last time they had a tornado outbreak like this in December? It was like 2011, wasn't it? It's about 10 years ago.
I don't remember.
I mean, it wasn't this bad, obviously, but I remember at some point they had some tornadoes in December.
I don't remember that. The one that really, because I'm the only one here. Maybe Josh can remember it. The super outbreak in April of 74. Is that what it was, or 72?
It was in the 70s.
Yeah, but Xenia, Ohio, got some of the worst damage on that one. It was 130 something tornadoes on a single day, and they were so. Every now and again, you have these events where they just seem to be everywhere, and they're all along the squall line. And last night, the tornadoes were not as widespread, but the ones that did exist were extremely devastating. So thoughts and prayers go out to everyone, especially those up in Mayfield, Kentucky, and
Western Tennessee. Union City and Paris, I understand, has had some damage as well. And an Amazon facility went down in Memphis.
They're still trying to get people out. It collapsed, and Amazon is apparently under fire because people are saying it was not engineered correctly, and that's why it collapsed so easily.
Yeah. I don't know how you engineer
against an F5 tornado.
I'm not gonna condemn anybody for things that happen as a result of severe weather, and weather, regardless of what the reason is, and it's pretty apparent that our weather is getting increasingly more intense, and our atmosphere has the ability, with it warming up, to become more energized. And these kinds of storms, be it tornadic in nature or super rain events, which we saw earlier in Waverly, anytime you get 17 inches of rain in a few hours, I mean, that's not normal.
No.
And so I don't know how you prepare for these things except to keep your devices where that you can get warnings on them, and give yourself an opportunity to evade them.
If you don't have a NOAA weather radio, you should probably get one.
Well, I have an app on my phone that
Well, yeah, I've got that. Is it Storm Shield?
Storm Shield.
Yeah,
and it's a really good app. Channel 5 puts that one out. And what's good about it is no matter if you have your phone muted or on silent, it's still going to wake you up
and scare the dog. Yes,
as mine did this morning, which we could have slept through it, but the problem of it is, like Austin did. He did sleep through it, and you don't want to.
You have to have the phone on for it to work.
Yes, if the phone's turned off, it will not work. I don't turn my phone off except to restart it.
Well, I have the Canine early warning system at the proving ground,
and the continuous warning system.
Yes,
right?
I mean it comes on at least 45 minutes before the storm hits the 37167. So.
You care if I share some pictures real quick?
Sure.
So this is. Oh, hold on. I'm about to do something here. I don't need you to do anything, Tyler. I'm commandeering your screen.
He's taking over.
Oh, my goodness.
So that's Mayfield.
Oh, my word. God.
And then it was like just gone.
Is that the courthouse? The one that's...
no.
Is that not the center frame? Is the courthouse? Is that...
No, the courthouse still has part of the top part standing. Like, it's just gone. So we...
Well... As you can see, and again, it's not to minimize things, the locality of where the damage is done is spotty. That's what it is so unusual to me about tornadoes. It's hitting that one area, but as you can see, these open air structures here in the middle look relatively unscathed. And that's well,
it's hard to tell from that picture
whether it is. It's going on.
There's a huge amount of damage there, and
this house is gone. You can see as it rolls up here, but this one over here is gone. So it seems that the storm track, if I were guessing, would have been right.
Well,
up
yeah,
there
straight. I don't know what direction that's looking in. I would assume that's looking west, but I could be wrong because there's no big cloud bank, stormy looking cloud. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So. Plus, the sun's not coming up that direction. That's why the other reason.
That's a sign.
But no,
yeah.
Just wanted to share that real quick.
All right. Hey, well, we're gonna, if we can gain the control back of the screen here, we're gonna talk briefly about Earth Mix garden products.
Okay.
And if you really want to have the best results, you got to use the best soils and amendments, and that's what Earth Mix garden products is all about. And if you want them to also be organic and sustainably produced, well, Earth Mix is your choice.
Yep.
And we've developed it over a number of years, and we've really worked hard at securing the best sources for inputs and have controls over those such that we can ensure the organic nature of production. And what you're going to get as a result of that is not just organic, sustainable, but it's the most viable and productive soil you're going to find anywhere. But you can't just find it anywhere. You've got to go to an independent garden center, or you can go to earthmix.net and click on the Find Earth Mix tab. And if you do that and you scroll down the page there, you'll see all the pins that come up all over Middle Tennessee and Kentucky, even up into Ohio and to Indiana. Check all those out. You can zoom in for a location near you and find out how to get the best out of your gardening efforts. And remember, no matter what you're trying to grow, be it indoor plants, outdoor plants, if you're just wanting to enrich your soil or add compost, there's Earth Mix products especially for that purpose. Check it out, earthmix.net. Remember this, is success in gardening begins at the ground level when you use Earth Mix garden products, and we appreciate you giving us a moment to talk about that.
Yep.
I'm going to go back to the radar here briefly. We'll update that and see how far east the front has moved. And again, I don't have any idea about
Storm at one point in time was traveling about 60 to 65 miles an hour.
This is an interesting view right here. This is just the wind screen. You see the winds coming up out of the south, and then the ones coming from the west-northwest. And so we're just now approaching the area where the winds are going to start really picking up out of the west again. And that's supposed to hang in that kind of condition until about noon today before they begin to wane a bit. So
Supposed to get cold quick, too.
it is going to be chilling down. So windbreaker, perhaps light rain gear is appropriate. It's going to be a transitional day today, and even though the storms have moved out of Middle Tennessee, we're going to have changing weather conditions, and it's as warm as it's going to be the rest of the day right now because the temperatures will continue to fall as the front moves further through.
Yes, it's headed east.
Okay, Austin, you've been really quiet today, and
He slept in. He
yeah.
slept
I slept
good.
through the weather. I have
Yeah.
nothing to contribute to that. I know.
yeah, well, you do have things to contribute because a lot of folks are interested in planning. We're actually coming up here towards the end of the program, but quickly, what are some things people can be thinking about with respect to landscaping this time of year?
Well, landscaping for sure. It's time to do it. We got 25% off. There's no reason not to do it. It's time to get your shrubs. If you want to replace your shrubs, if you want to start new, create a new bed, whatever. It's time to do it. I know landscaping gets expensive, y'all. So
Yep.
25% off your whole package is a pretty good deal. And also, we brought in all tropical plants in today for a reason. It's gift giving season. Plants are excellent gifts to give. People love them. You get them a cute little pot, put a plant in there, and it's just a really good thing to do for people. Just love plants. So
And Cary will help you and guide you through the process and
will.
tell you
Yes, I
everything
will.
is going to be okay.
It will be
That's
just
right.
fine as long as you do not overwater them.
There's a beautiful blue spruce out there too, and that's involved with the sale as well. And
It's in there.
It's a big boy too. So
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's even though you could use it as a living Christmas tree, for me, it's way too big to move in the house. I
Yeah.
mean, you need to have, we talk about Bonanza, you need to have a couple of Hoss Cartwrights on your team to be able to move that in and out. So
Pernell Roberts, what was his character's name?
that was, he was the oldest son, the
Yes.
eldest. He had hair, or at least a hair piece back in the.
I understand there were quite a few hair pieces on that show.
There might have been Lauren
His name was
Green.
Adam. wasn't
Adam
it?
West.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Now
Not
Adam
to-
West was on.
Not to be confused with Batman.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
Adam.
No,
Not Adam
Pernell
West.
Roberts.
Pernell
Hey,
Roberts was Adam. What was their last name?
Cartwright, yes,
Adam
Adam.
Cartwright.
Uh-huh.
Adam West, of course, was
Batman.
We've got a good customer of ours named Adam West that works out here, or that shops with us. He's a landscaper. I call him Batman. He's cool.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Bruce Wayne.
He's our
himself.
Batman.
Well, guys, that's about winds us up for this edition of the At Home Show. Hey, Michael, it's been real.
Yeah, man.
No, I'm sorry that today's show had to be like somber like it was, but it is what it is.
Well,
I still had a lot of fun. I'll still come around sometimes.
Well,
Okay.
very good.
better
We're
warn
going to
us.
hold you to that.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Okay. But it has been a pleasure to have Michael as a part of the team.
Absolutely.
he was,
Safe travels to everyone who's getting out and about. Hopefully that your recovery from whatever storms occurred in
it's
your
none of your
area
business
is-
what's going on in the damaged neighborhood.
Yeah, don't drive
Stay
out there.
Don't worry about it. I mean, it'll be enough.
You will be
coverage on the
notified
news.
when you can help.
Yes, absolutely, because Tennessee will step up and help itself and help others. All righty, folks, for all the crew here at the At Home Show, we want to thank you for being here. We'll be back next Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. We're right here from the Green Room Studios at Base Nursery and Garden Center.